Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So today we're looking at SP Samantha. It looks so sick, and yeah, we've seen her from like the very start of the game, so finally she'll be coming, and yeah, just really excited to get SP Samantha, Samantha Everglow. And her skills are really amazing. So let's go through these skills. So 1 star, before attacking, inflicts Judgment Brand for 2 turns. So Judgment Brand is a debuff, increases the damage taken by 10%. So it's a unique debuff, and AoE damage taken by additional 5%. Cannot be dispelled or immunized. At the end of the turn, triggers Judgment Strike. The effect deals 30% magic AoE damage to enemies with Judgment Brand in battle. So this is global, like doesn't matter where the enemy is, if they have Judgment Brand, SP Samantha will AoE him, will deliver Judgment. Then the spell 1 buff, and when the character has Radiant Watch, increased damage multiplier to 100%. This effect does not inflict Judgment Brand. The Radiant Watch, when gained repeatedly, the duration stacks. All allies within 5 tiles of the character gain the aura effect. At the end of the turn, dispels 1 debuff and gains Radiant Blessing for 2 turns. For all aggression and papal state allies, before attacking with class skills, inflict Judgment Brand on the enemy for 2 turns. So basically what this means is your allies, so the allies around you, or aggression and papal state allies, they'll help Samantha deliver this Judgment Brand. Like, mark the enemy for Samantha to deliver her Judgment. Alright, and then Glorious Light buff. When taking damage, recovers HP equal to 30% of the caster's magic attack. This effect can stack up to 2 times and remove 1 stack after triggering. Where did that come from? Your Glorious Light. Is it the Radiant Blessing? Transfers to Glorious Light. Is that bad translation there? Yeah, double check the CN version. Yeah, so yeah, Radiant Blessing is this Glorious Light. No wonder I was like, where did the name come from? Alright, so another error to stand through to the dev team. The 2-star increase max HP and magic attack by 8%. Before attacking, inflicts Judgment Brand for 2 turns. So what was it before? Before attacking, inflicts Judgment Brand for 2 turns. Okay, so it's just the extra effect in that section. Okay, 3-star increase max HP and magic attack by 8% before attacking, Judgment Brand for 2 turns. When the character attacks targets with Judgment Brand, increase crit by 15%. At the start of battle, gain Radiant Watch until the start of next turn. Okay, so this is when she gains this Radiant Watch effect. So basically to stack the duration of Radiant Watch there. 4 stars, increase max HP and magic attack by 16%. Judgment Brand for 2 turns. Increase crit by 15%. And Radiant Watch until start next turn. So the only thing that changes the max HP and magic attack. And then 5-star effect. Judgment Brand for 2 turns. When character attacks target with Judgment Brand, increases crit by 50%. So 15 straight to 50. And then at start of battle, gain Radiant Watch until the start of next turn. Expands the Radiant Watch aura to the entire battlefield. So this is really key. Global Radiant Watch effect. And then at the start of turn, recovers 1 energy. So really keen on pushing SP Samantha all the way to 5-star because whole battlefield is insane there. SP Samantha's initial skill is Light of Judgment for all sins. 2 energy, 70% AoE to all enemies in a 3x6 area in the target direction. Increases damage multiplier to 100% for enemies in the middle. Okay, so let's see these skills in action. So we have Papal Ice Priest, so let's have him like debuff a bunch of dummies. So debuff these 2. And then you see that Wheel of Time sort of debuff on them. Judgment Brand, right? Wheel of Fortune. Increases their damage, and then the speed and move is from Papal Ice Priest, and then there's the debuff on this one as well. And then if, let's get SP Samantha to damage this row of dummies, this middle row takes more damage, and then you see after she attacks, there was like an AoE burst. Everyone, including these ones, right? These two. So these were from because they were debuffed with the Judgment Brand. And we also get the buff from SP Samantha's trait, right? At the end of the turn, dispels one debuff and gains Radiant Blessing for 2 turns. So Papal Ice Priest ended his turn, so he did get the Glorious Light buff, recovering the HP. The Outlaw Archer hasn't had his turn yet, so if we just stand by, and then you could see that it did gain the buff as well. So the reason why the Outlaw Archer didn't get the Radiant Watch buff is he's actually too slow. So SP Samantha, we can see this has a 1-turn cooldown. She has no skills to extend this Radiant Watch aura, so only Papal Ice Priest will be able to get that Radiant Blessing there, and everyone else, this aura would just disappear from them. So if we just stand by on Papal Ice Priest, SP Samantha's turn, she's lost her Radiant Watch, and everyone loses that aura. But Papal took his turn, so did get the Glorious Light buff. So for rank 1 skills, we have Chain of Regeneration. End of turn, heals a character and ally with lowest HP within 3 tiles by 50% of magic attack. Fairly common skill. And we have Energy Restoration. Another common skill, but very useful. End of turn, recovers an additional 1 energy. If energy is less than 1, recovers another energy. So really helps Samantha spam her skills there. So definitely looking at using the Energy Restoration. Rank 3, we have Prayer of Devotion. Instant, heal all allies within 3 tiles for 30% of magic attack, and grants them 1 stack of Radiant Blessing. Anti-heal immunity and bound resistance for 2 turns. So I feel like the translation is still out there. Radiant Blessing, Radiant Watch, right? Anti-heal immunity, bound resistance, and grants the character Radiant Watch until the next 2 turns. Oh, and Glorious Light, yeah. Wait, I'm so confused. Glorious Light is Radiant Blessing, and Radiant Watch is Radiant Watch. Yeah, it's the bad translation here still. Okay, it is 1 cost, 3 cooldown. So this is a pretty key skill for SP Samantha to stack up her Radiant Watch stacks, because it, as you could see, it did run out. So she does need to build up the Radiant Watch there. And we're looking also at the right side for rank 3, Fire Purification. 150% AoE damage to all enemies within 1 tile of the target. Inflicts bound vision down and move 1 down for 2 turns. So Control Disruption reduces max range of range skills by 1 tile, removed after an active attack. That's pretty cool. This makes them like see Fog of War, right? And then the move 1 down, and transforms tiles within range into burning for 2 turns. So yeah, it just forces them to become burning tiles. Like 150% AoE is pretty high AoE, but it is a very small AoE, just a plus shape. And creating fire tiles, you know, could be useful. Combo with Levata. I feel like this is more optional, but it is definitely quite unique to have there. Rank 5, we have Protection of Light. When hit by an active single target, damage taken is decreased by 30%, can be activated 1 time per round. And right side is Energy Recovery. When hit by an active attack, damage taken is decreased by 8%. Upon receiving an active attack, additionally recovers 1 energy. So these are just kind of whatever. Like, I think I'll probably actually go for the Energy Recovery. Like, just get a bit more extra energy from SP Samantha. You also have to remember she is with the SP, right? So the better reaction is this one where you gain it from OG Samantha. So you need to have original Samantha, and your SP Samantha needs to be 3 stars or above to unlock this. Eternal Faith reaction, triggered when defeated with 3 energy. So if she has 3 or more energy, she consumes these 3 energy to become to revive, right? Can be triggered. So she revives with 3 energy, consumes that, triggered up to 2 times per battle. Oh my god, that was bad. So if you kill SP Samantha, if she has 3 or more energy, she uses those 3 energy and she revives with 100% health and triggers twice. Okay, man, that was that was so bad. And then OG Samantha unlocks this skill. So OG Samantha, so this skill is our rank 3 skill that we get. Where is so SP Samantha needs to raise Prayer of Devotion, and OG Samantha, if she's at 3 stars, she can unlock this skill, the Realm of Pierce Worship. Instant, heals all allies within 3 tiles. Healing amount is 30% on magic attack. Grants them 1 layer of Shining, which is that Radiance. The healing thing, right? So the reactive healing, immune to treatment, immune to immobilization, lasts for 2 rounds. So yeah, basically get this healing skill on OG Samantha. Okay, so moving on, rank 7, we have Judgment Sanctum. Instant, dispels 2 buffs from all enemies within 5 tiles of the character, and grants the character Radiant Watch until the start of the next 2 turns. Then performs a Force Alert, cannot be interrupted, in the area, dealing 50% magic AoE damage to enemies within 1 tile radius of the character, and interrupt their turn. Can be triggered up to 3 times per round. So this is really, really cool. This is like her big alert skill. Keep in mind, you can't actually extend this. So some people are thinking, with Focus 1, Momo, increasing the range. That's only for single targets. This is an AoE, so can't actually increase the range of that, but it is still a really huge range. And then we got our leader aura, Will to Cleanse All Foul. So good. We haven't had an aggression aura since Nono Will, so increase attack and defense by 10%, skill damage by 10. So that was what Nono Will had, and then this extra one is AoE damage by 20%. So this is the extra special effect of this aggression aura. So start of turn, we already lose our Radiant Watch from our 5-star effect. So we want to be able to stack up our Radiant Watch. So we got Prayer of Devotion. This can give us Radiant Watch. You can see here, now we get the Radiant Watch there. All the buffs, 2-turn cooldown, and a bunch of defensive stuff, and the Glorious Light. And then we could come here and raise our Judgment Sanctum alert. So we can just trigger the alert, and let's just stand by there. And you can see Fakel has all the buffs, also has the Radiant Watch there. And then we just end turn. And then see that AoE. Big AoE damage. Alert is gone. Fakel did trigger the Radiant Watch. Did get the Glorious Light there. Yeah. Pretty big damage, and then huge long AoE. And then explodes them again as well, because it did debuff them and mark them with the Judgment brand. Rank 9 skills, we have Light of Sanction. 3 hits of 23% magical AoE damage to all enemies within 1 tile of the target. So it's not that much. Like quick math, that's 69%, right? And being magic AoE, this means that it triggers off the class skill, this AoE damage. Also triggers off the skill damage. Skill damage doesn't count like basic attacks though, right? So it's just the AoE here. And we also have the Judgment brand debuff, which increased the damage taken and AoE taken, right? So definitely a nice skill to have because yeah, all this AoE does increase, unlike the right side. Scorching attack, there's a basic attack, 80% magical damage, scorch on the target for 2 turns. Yeah, definitely going for this skill and yeah, going for these two. And now rank 11, these are our big ones. We have Crystal Implosion Extra. 60% AoE to all enemies within 3 tiles of the target. Inflicts magic defense 3 down for 2 turns. So we've seen this skill a lot on a lot of different units. This is probably one of the best like energy and cooldowns. 2 energy, 2 cooldown, and basically can spam this every 2 turns, right? I mean, SP Samantha is more of a damage dealer than like a debuff or setup unit. And we have the Oath to End All Evil. This is the huge AoE. Well, it's not that huge, but it's a huge AoE we've seen from SP Samantha for such a long time. 3 cost, 3 cooldown, 220% AoE damage to enemies within 5 tiles of the character. For each enemy hit, reduces skill multiplier by 30% to a minimum of 100%. So 4 enemies goes down to 100%. Otherwise, 1 enemy, 220. Then dispels 3 buffs from the character, 3 buffs from the targets, grants the character Radiant Watch until the start of the next 2 turns. So she does have to keep spamming skills to get that Radiant Watch, and yeah, let's see this big AoE in action. And then her Ascension skill, Overwhelming Force, when having 4 or more buffs, damage is increased by 4%, damage taken is reduced by 4%. Both of these go up to 12%, just a bit extra damage. She does have enough buffs on her, so yeah, let's just throw her into this dummy stage and see some big damage, right? And usually do want to like use her with the flag, so we have like Cast the Judgment Sanctum, 3 turn cooldown, and then big AoE, Oath to End All Evil. Yeah, huge. And then, you know, when they move, she'll do AoE, and then she's kind of out of energy on cooldowns. And this is where you bring in like Credenza, or you run the flag and everything to reduce her energy. And reduce the cooldowns, give her energy. So if you see a few setups for SP Samantha, so this is the big one. Huge AoE, huge alert, and like every setup, you're pretty much running the aura with the reaction. If you do have OG Samantha, you're running the revive reaction, and then the AoE basic. And because you'll be running out of like energy and like beyond cooldown, you can also look at running this AoE in. Huge range, clears enemies, and then you could run this AoE, or you could swap this around and run like the first 3 skills, and then you run the alert and then the AoE here. Or instead of this AoE, you could look at running this skill, Fire Purification, because it is a bigger AoE damage, smaller range though, but 150%. So this is more for elites, or if you bring her like while bossing potentially. So that's how I'll run SP Samantha. And if you're on low star Samantha, she might be missing energy, so you might have to take something out and run the energy restoration. And for SP Samantha's kit, definitely looking at sword and wand. I prefer to have the sword on the weapons and wand on the trinkets, but it's really honestly up to you. Like, I just feel like running sword wand makes it so I can run like the cup and wand for energy resets. If I need to play with some like setups, I can run this wand and cup. So if I have like sword and wand, I could easily switch some weapons around and run the cup and wand. And yeah, he does have an astral imprint, light to purge all evil. Very strong weapon for SP Samantha. Best in slot. I'll say it's probably around like what 15% higher than the diffusing prism. The magic attack by 10%. At the start of battle and before attacking, while it's not the character's turn, gain Absorb effect, increases crit by 25% and crit damage by 30% for 1 turn. So basically what that means is that her end of battle like boom sort of skill where she uh, does damage to everyone who has the Judgment brand, that one will increase in crit and do more damage. This one. Where is it? Judgment Strike, yeah. So this is going to do huge damage, and this 30%, getting like maximum crit damage. Otherwise, you pretty much just be running Diffusing Prism, 10% magic attack, and then just damage. She does all AoE attacks anyway, so increasing the magic damage. For Trinket, I don't know why Jade has True Lens. Yeah, probably just using like Hourglass. I think he might have it for like the crit or something when on Highland, but that's so niche. Yeah, I guess he only really has Hourglass, but then he needs to roll Wand or something. Sword and Wand. I don't really want to re-roll his gears. Roaring Flint and the Arm Guard are pretty nice to have on SP Samantha because this also applies the mark, right? You could see it, Judgment brand. So if you have Roaring Flint, big AoE, mark everyone. And then you can run the usual Shield of Justice or Bloodlux Light Amulet for her, doing magic damage or magic AoE damage there. For Taro, usually you're looking at Magician for the extra AoE damage. He just hits so many targets, so definitely looking at Magician. Otherwise, you can consider Devil for stacking up the attack because she's killing so many enemies. Or you can also look at Justice for increasing the crit and crit damage there. Another consideration is Tower, increasing the damage out of the character's turn for her Judgment Strike here. And yeah, she does really want allies who do mark the enemies with the Judgment brand, especially for aggression and Papal State allies. Like, we're looking at like Rico. Camelot's aggression, right? Yeah. Luvata. Is Sham's aggression? Oh wait, I can view it here, right? So, yeah, I mean, we got Selena, right? Selena's too slow. Luvata, Marcel, SP Rawia, Homer, Karis, Tristan, Apple States, Luvata, Karis, Aya. Yeah, that is SP Samantha. Really, really keen on getting her, and yeah, her damage is just really insane. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.